Today we're gonna do a VOD review, and this VOD was sent in by Orange Dinosaur from my Discord. He's Plat 1 playing Jett and struggling with attacking. More specifically, he's struggling with how to get his team to push onto site and what to do when the enemy uses util. He mentioned that he either stalls it out or pushes through, and it doesn't really matter which one he picks because he tends to lose either way. Since this is the first VOD review video of hopefully many, I'm gonna explain the format a little bit quickly. So I've already watched the game for myself and wrote down the most important rounds so that we can go over them here today without wasting any time. And what I found from watching the game, which can possibly be the reason that you're struggling with util, is that you're not pushing through the utility fast enough. As a Jett player, you need to go through very quickly and you can't just wait around for the smoke to disappear. If you find a pattern from the enemies that they always tend to smoke a certain area, then try to just dash through it early with a flash from a teammate or something like that. So with that being said, for the specific problem that I listed in the start, let's go through the most important rounds from what I could find and solve the problems together. So do you guys see what he's doing wrong right here? He's going into attacker spawn when his whole team is over here in mid. You haven't told them what to do, you haven't said let's go A, you haven't said let's go mid, but they're going mid, and you as Jett should try to go with your team as much as possible since you generally want to be the first one in. In your mind you might be going A, but you haven't really called that to the teammates, so it's quite hard for them to know what to do. And even if you called it, what are you gonna do to help them from spawn?
Jett was market.
So it's good that you're peeking mid there to help them, but then you're going back towards A for no real reason. As Jett, you should have already been up here, hopefully getting the Sage and getting the kill so you can go into sight. Yeah, sometimes lurking can be powerful, but generally as a Jett player you want to stay away from lurking as much as possible. Right here what you want to do is to updraft above the wall and go past it. There's no real point in waiting here, and the second you saw the breach was over there in short and in danger, you should have just updrafted over this. Right here, you never want to shift here. You want to run up and you want to updraft over it, because you're seeing the breach, he's going closer on short. It's a totally different story if the breach is over here, but now he's up here, so you need to go. I get that you feel like you're in a powerful position, and you are, but because of how your team is playing it and because of what you did earlier, you have no real option here but to updraft over it and go help your team. Because even if you manage to get 1 or 2 kills from this spot, which you probably will be able to do in most cases, considering you have a pretty good flank, it's not gonna be that helpful when your whole team is dead and you're probably not gonna win the round either way.
30 seconds left.
So here's the spot where it's a minor mistake, but I've seen you do it multiple times later in the VOD, and it can really add up to something if that's a habit you're starting to build. You, for no real reason, smoked twice right here. And I get why you did it. You think that you're gonna be here for a while and you don't want them shooting from behind, but what we should have done there instead, since these guys can't peek you, like they can't see you when you're standing right here, you should have cleared out this area instead. Clear out by the window, clear out that position, because smoking twice, it's gonna go away after a couple of seconds either way. I see what you did there trying to smoke twice, but it's not the most optimal strategy since you generally wanna engage in 1v1s. So if you get the possibility to clear out an area without the enemy seeing you, since you know he's short here, you should definitely do that. You don't really lose anything from clearing that area, because even if you die, well, then you died. It's a 1v2, you're probably not gonna win it either way. But if you get the kill, then the round is very much in your favor compared to how it was before. So right here, when you're peeking, you see what you're doing here? You're just running up. Let me rewatch this. You know that he's right there. You know that Sage is there, at least Sage. Probably Raze as well, since nobody has shot you in the back yet or tried to come out or whatever, making a noise. You're just running straight forward, you're not holding your crosshair at anything. This is why I stress crosshair placement, especially. You see? Like you're Plat 1, and that's not a bad rank, that is above average. But still, for some reason, you haven't developed a habit of holding your crosshair where people can be. This makes a huge difference. See here, you run up, if you would have held it there, you would have cleared it there. You probably could have gotten a kill. I'm not gonna say you would have gotten a kill, but you had a pretty strong chance to get one. What you do instead is just holding W and you're holding your crosshair on the wall. It is a common mistake and a lot of people do it, so don't stress it, but it's just something you need to keep in mind. Because like I said, it's very common and many people do it without really even thinking about it. Like you probably thought right there, oh, okay, he got a nice shot on me. And while he did, if you would have AD peeked, like you would have just pressed D, went back, pressed D, went back, jiggle a little bit, the chance of you getting that kill isn't as low as you probably think. Alright, starting off round 2-2. We see you right here in mid again. Your team is A, alright? Your team is A. They're not mid, nobody's even mid, and they're clearly rushing into A. They're putting utility down. You need to go instantly to A with them. When you see them around here, you need to be with them there. You can ask them, is it okay if I go mid? Because maybe you're doing a split or maybe they're not going as fast, but when they're rushing into B, you really need to be with them. When my team goes B, I'm often the one who dashes onto boat house or in here or even onto site above the roof instantly. And this is what I talked about in my last video as well. I mentioned this. I believe that I said that the reason why people don't play according to the agents is because of stats. And even if this is something that you think about or not, like, I don't think that you're intentionally trying to sabotage because you want better stats. It's something normal because a lot of times when you do these plays, you get a kill. Like, you actually do. Somebody's coming from short, you get a nice kill and you're like, wow, okay, that worked out, I'm gonna do it again. But the fact of the matter is that even if you got that kill, you probably got 2 teammates killed on B. So if you would have instead went on to B, you probably would have gotten a kill there as well. But even if you got 0 kills, you would have helped your team a lot into getting into sight. You also mentioned in Discord that you play a lot of different agents from different classes. This might be one of the reasons that you're doing these mistakes. As someone who primarily plays Jett in the majority of my games, I've kind of developed a habit of playing like Jett should do. So I understand why it's not as easy for you, but it's something you really need to start thinking about if you want to play Jett. And if that's not your type of playstyle, then don't play Jett in my opinion. This goes out to all the duelist mains. Really consider this. Is duelist really the class you want to be? If you want to get good stats and high kills, then maybe Jett isn't the agent for you after all. Because a lot of people misinterpret this. Jett isn't supposed to go mid and get a nice kill and then go away onto B site when your team is dead, get 2 more kills. That's not Jett's job. Yes, duelists have the potential to get a ton of kills if you play them right. That's absolutely correct. But the fact of the matter is that in most games, you will not get that many kills. You will get an average stat line, if even that. So if you're the type of player who goes mid when your team is going somewhere else, then probably don't pick Jett. So since you said that you're struggling with attacking, this could very well be the reason that you're doing it, since I'm starting to see a pattern of this mistake happening.
Made a little bit noise.
Here's this once again. You're on B side still when your team is almost on A. US Jett should never be that far away from your team. And going mid here is just a total throw. There's no point in you going mid, and there's especially no point in running out mid like that. Jiggling it a little bit just to get some info before going on to A with your team, yeah, that's good. But just going out mid like that, it's just not smart. Very nice entries. Alright, good smoke there. Second one, once again, wasn't needed. We saw this a couple rounds ago as well. Then it was quite a different scenario, but still, 2 smokes on top of each other. I think you underestimated the timer of the Jett smokes a little bit.
Raise 7.
Right there, you want to peek with your team when the killjoy is exposed like that.
Oh,
You have no
I did 110
business.
to her.
You have no business reloading in the open like that. Alright, so let's break this down real quick, because these were a lot of crucial mistakes. When you were under here, you could have peeked out right here. You see the Sova here is peeking versus the Killjoy. The Cypher is about to peek, but you're still standing under here. For what reason are you still under here? Like, are you just that sure that you're gonna win the duel? Well, if you are, I kinda get it, because there were 2 people against her, but if you would have peeked, the chance of winning would have been even higher and mostly guaranteed.
She's at 40.
When you're peeking out here, you're just running out backwards with no real goal in mind. You're just running backwards. Where are you trying to go? Are you trying to go to Jen? Are you trying to go to the 2 boxes on site? Where are you trying to go? Alright, right here. Why are you looking there? Why are you looking onto shorts? Are you trying to smoke? Trying to dash? You have your dash here. You could have just dashed away. Dashing away right here would have been the optimal play. And you definitely don't want to start reloading here in the open. You have 0 bullets, but dash away first. And you see here, guys, he has 0 smokes left. This one smoke that he used on short that he didn't need, he could have used it right here to smoke off heaven, smoke off sight, give yourself some space, and then just play around it. Even just sitting in it is a very cheap way to pretty much guarantee at least some time being wasted, probably winning you the round as well. The time wasn't very high right here. You had been toying with this killjoy for a little bit. People peeking and her going back and forth, placing out turrets. So a lot of time was already wasted. A smoke here would have been optimal.
Oh, I did 110 to her.
So you did damage to her, and it's kinda your teammate's fault at the same time for missing all their shots, but you shouldn't count on them to hit it. And I think that's kinda the problem right here. You're sitting under, counting on your teammates to win the duel. Should they have won the duel? Yeah, probably, but at the same time you can't expect them to win it. So right here what you want to do is to peek with the drone ideally. You wanna call for like a flash from your breach, then peek with the drone. Do like a smoke on generator, something like that, and a quick entryway. I've shown it in a couple of my videos. It's like one of the common Jett entries I use. It's pretty common overall. You just throw a smoke on top of here, dash up, and then dash onto it. Or you updraft up rather, and then dash onto it. It's pretty common. Would probably work here. If you get a breach flash, then your Cypher comes with you. Could work. And I think that's also the issue. You say that you're struggling with utility, and you're just indecisive. You don't really know what you want to do. Do I want to push through it? Do I not want to push through it? You've lost many times doing both, so you don't push before it. See, there was no util here. You could have pushed, you had time to push right here, you knew that the race was there, throw a smoke there and then do something, like call for a flash. You need to communicate with your teammates. You are Jett and your teammates should help you. They shouldn't do it all for you, but like a Sova arrow or a breach flash and you dash on, you probably could have won the round. Or at least win a lot more rounds than you do currently. But instead, you wait here, you don't really do anything.
30 seconds left.
Alright, solid smoke. I mean, not the best, but it does something. Here, dash, dash, dash. You have your dash. Really not that hard. Yeah, so what you need to do there was that I'm gonna point to a specific time. Right here, you could have just jiggled a little bit. Yeah, I mean, you saw that coming, so you ran in. That was your fault. Dashing onto here basically just gives you a lot of space and probably gets you an entry. I mean, there should be someone around here, someone around here. You could probably get a kill from there. Or at least you create a lot of space for your team. But instead, you stand here just shooting at this. Then going into here, you're stuck here for some reason. What exactly are you trying to do here? No one here in your team is trying to go this way, but you're not coming with them. I think you're indecisive, you don't really know how to go first, and your map awareness isn't the best. Or like situational awareness, whatever you can call it. So right here, you should have noticed that your team isn't going this way. You should have backed off, you should have tried to utilize your Jett abilities to help your team entry. But instead, you get blown up and you get killed by the killjoy. I also want to just call out a couple Jett specific tips here. Instead of regularly dashing when you get onto sides, which I saw you do a bit earlier, you should jump dash. So you should press space and then dash instantly. This will make you go further. It's just one of those easy things that you can do as a Jett, and it will get you further. It will even help you in some cases to manage some specific entry plays. Like you can get on top of things that you couldn't have gotten on top of without it and stuff like that. I also suggest you to rebind these ability keys. I heard that you weren't always playing Jett, so I kinda get why you have these, but I usually switch in between it. When I'm playing Jett, I always have my dash and updraft on my mouse buttons. I didn't think this was comfortable at first, but when I get used to it, it just makes everything much easier, because you can dash and control your movement in the air while you're doing it, which is really, really useful. And it's basically a must if you're playing Jett a lot. So playing Jett with op on attacker is quite different. I generally tend to go pretty aggressive still. It kind of depends on the round. You kind of want to communicate with your team beforehand and tell them that you have an op, because your game plan could change quite dramatically between having an op and not. Like if your Jett is opping, you don't want to push sides really, you want to play more of a default from my experience. Alright, so I think this is kind of different right here. You see, you're mid, but the Cypher was in spawn with the spike. So like, your team here shouldn't really be trying to push B without the Cypher and the spike either way. So I think you being mid here is totally fine. That's a nice try. I mean, it's a good play generally. That's a good one. Very good trade. You knew the Jett was there. It's a clean kill. Nice damage on that brim there as well. You're sticking close to your team here like this. You're trying to play like your role should do. But now it's going sideways. Why do you lurk so much as Jett? You didn't know that the site was clear here, right? So like fast forward 5-10 seconds, yeah, you knew the site was clear, but right here, they could have been hiding below here, they could have been peeking over here, could have even been like Jen or here or something like that, so you don't know anything. That's kind of the deal right here, like if you don't know anything, if you don't know that your team will 100% get site control, then you shouldn't be trying to lurk here with Jett. So if your team has the site control and you're already right here, then yeah, it's not really a problem sitting here because you're not gonna be able to like enter either way if your team has a side, right? But when you don't know anything, like in this case, yeah, they do get a side control, but we didn't know that. So just keep that in mind, like you want to be the one that guarantees side control for your team, not the one who guarantees kills in like the late round. Horrible peak. Horrible peak. Alright, so let's go over this. You have a Vandal, right? You have your dash, you have your updraft, everything. You see your breach right here. If you look right here, if you weren't so like aggressive here, which I like that you're finally being aggressive with Jett, alright? I'm not trying to roast your gameplay. I kind of noticed that I'm sort of roasting your gameplay right now, but I'm just trying to give you the best critique I can. So you see here, if you weren't as aggressive like I said, you would have seen that your breach right here has flash up, alright? If you just would have waited, I don't know how long it takes exactly, 3 seconds, 5 seconds, whatever, for your breach to flash, this would have been much easier for you. What you do instead is running out blindly. You're running out blindly, you know the enemy has money, you're just running out. Boom, and you're dead. Like, you could have done so much else there. You could have dashed over to the other side and baited another shot. You could have, like, shoulder peeked, whatever. Just pre-firing that, whatever. Waiting for the flash, ideally. Or even jump peeking there. I see a lot of people jump peek. It's a very good spot to jump peek. Alright, so that was all for the first VOD review. I hope you guys found some useful tips and tricks here. I kinda like this format a bit because I can give a bit more in-depth advice, not so straightforward, you know. As in my usual tips and tricks videos, I just have a script that I'm following and I'm just saying specific tips and tricks. But here I can actually view, analyze, I can give you some more context to the situation. I usually like to do that in my normal tips videos as well. I like to bring up, for example, I say like, oh, if you're going, for example, B on Ascent or if you're going up A on Bind. But it doesn't really show the whole scenario as good as actually watching a real game. Plus, you guys can be a part of it. So, if you want to be a part of it, join my Discord, link in the description below. With that being said, feel free to give any feedback if you think I should change something about this series. I'm not gonna do the full game because this guy specifically was struggling with attack. And I don't want to make these videos too long either because I find there to be a tendency of people making these just way too long. I want to make it short and concise. I want to have really good information on every round of review. So I don't just want to skim through a whole game, give a bit of information, or then just talk through it. I don't like that format. I want to do it short and concise. If you want some more Valorant tips and tricks, you can check out my aiming guide on screen right now and my game sense guide on screen right now. With that being said, see you in the next video. Peace out.